Hello everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to share my LA haul. I just dropped my daughter off at college and I thought I would share some of the highlights of the trip as well as some new discoveries, and of course I had to do a little shopping. So yep, I went to Scent Bar. I got to meet Dana and Steve, so I've got some perfume goodies as well as some really cute clothes that I cannot wait to share with you, and then of course just some highlights of LA itself. So if you're interested in seeing my LA haul and highlights from Los Angeles, then let's go ahead and get started. Oh my goodness, this is re-entry day for me after being gone for a whole week, surviving the big college drop-off with my daughter. So I am admittedly a little bit of a mess. The house feels very quiet. The energy has shifted and I know I will survive, but I'm a little shaky. So I am just catching up on YouTube, and I got a question while I was gone about the pillow that I swear by. I believe this was from Mary, your question, and I thought I would go ahead and address it and share one other obsession. And this is one of the things that I actually missed while we were gone, and that is my Sleep and Glow Omnia pillow. And this is basically an orthopedic pillow, anti-aging pillow, whatever you want to call it, because it cradles your neck and face so that you do not squish your face and get wrinkles. So you guys, it just cradles my head just like this and does not squish up my face and create more wrinkles. Now it also just feels so good on my neck. So I personally tend to hold stress right through my neck here, and the ergonomic design of this pillow really cradles my neck. It actually has helped me sleep a little bit more upright, but I'm someone who likes to side sleep, so I inevitably turn to my side. The way that it cradles my face is so comfortable, and I really do wake up more refreshed. I feel like I'm less puffy, and this is just one of the things that I kind of consider as part of my overall anti-aging regime. So I'm a huge believer in good sleep. SPF obviously is the next thing, but I swear by this pillow, I tell everybody about it, and Mary had just asked me. So it is the Sleep and Glow Omnia pillow I have, and I also do have a code, so I'll leave that below in the description box. But they also have a weighted blanket, and I'd always wanted to try one of those. I've heard that it really sort of relieves stress, but I was a little worried that I would feel suffocated and smothered by the weighted blanket. But Sleep and Glow recently launched their weighted blanket with anti-stress effect. My daughter immediately stole the weighted blanket. She was like, "This is the best sleep I have ever had." So I recently stole it back and gave it a try myself. And she's right, this blanket completely gives you like a big, huge bear hug. It just sort of helps melt your body into the bed, I guess is what I would say. I literally get sort of a sigh of relief when I get into bed, pull up the weighted blanket, and there is just something that just makes you go, ah. So I was not sure about these weighted blankets. I'd heard really good things about them. Now I am a believer, because after spending a week without my little Sleep and Glow pillow and my weighted blanket, I have to say, I got back last night, I was feeling very emotional. The house just feels completely different without my daughter here. And I just pulled up my weighted blanket, got into bed, and I just did have this really nice sigh of relief. It makes you feel like you are getting the best bear hug from somebody that you really love, and it just sort of relieved all the anxiety that I was feeling and helped me fall asleep immediately. A sort of calm just sort of overcomes you, and it is almost as if you are on like a blanket of sand and it's just melting your body into the sand, and you almost feel like warm sunshine just kind of beating down on you, nothing too hot, but you just really do get this overall sense of calm. And it was exactly what I needed last night to kind of lull myself into bed. So I just wanted to answer Mary's question. Yes, the Sleep and Glow, I still swear by it, love it, but you also might want to pick up the weighted blanket for the ultimate sleep experience. So for the ultimate sleep experience, I would say yes, you need the Sleep and Glow Omnia pillow, and then you want to pick up the weighted blanket, and then literally you will have the best sleep of your life. So wanted to address that, give a little shout out to Sleep and Glow as well as the weighted blanket because it is truly amazing. Now, this is not for any of you who are pregnant or for children under 4. So if you have little kids under the age of 4, I would probably wait to use this blanket. It is quite heavy. I was initially worried about it with my little dog, but it isn't one of those things that she's going to burrow into. She usually sleeps just down by my feet, so has totally been fine. But those were 2 things I wanted to quickly address and mention since I got a question about it. And of course, I have a code for a discount, so I'll leave that information below in the description. Okay, I have lots to share with you. Quick heads up, I might be a little extra chatty today, so if you do not like chatty kind of videos, you're going to want to skip this one. But we had such an amazing week there. I got to kind of pretend that I lived in La La Land again. I have lived in Los Angeles twice before, once without kids and once with kids. And now I have to tell you, I secretly want to move back. The 3rd time's a charm. I know there's lots of you out there who are like, no, the city is struggling, all that kind of stuff. I know that cities across America right now are struggling, but I've always loved the LA lifestyle and vibe and could totally just fall right back into that. I'm trying to convince my husband, now that we're empty nesters, that we may possibly want to go ahead, downsize our lives, and move back to LA. And I would be a bit closer to my daughter. She even likes the idea, so we'll see how that plays out. So I got the full LA experience. We stayed in an Airbnb, the cutest house. So if you are ever going to LA and you want an Airbnb recommendation, I would totally recommend this place. This was a little house in Venice, kind of on the Venice, like if you cross the street, then you're in Marina del Rey. So it was the perfect place for us to land, and my son also came into town to help with the move, so it was a whole family affair of us launching Zoe off at college. So that was super fun. And if we are Instagram friends, you probably noticed that I was posting a lot of my stories and got the full LA experience. My rental car tire blew out. It was actually a little bit of a scary incident, but probably a good learning lesson for Zoe because, yep, indeed, LA is a driving city. And I will admit my driving muscle by the end totally came back. So we had that experience and ended up having to exchange cars. And they actually gave me a Porsche to drive for my troubles since we had been through this whole tire blowout kind of scary incident. So I do have to say Enterprise totally took care of us. Give a little plug to them. So I really got to have the full LA experience by living in a house, driving the Porsche. Everybody has fancy cars in LA, but I do have to give you a little heads up. I didn't think the Porsche was all that. I will say I was a little colored because my Porsche, somebody had totally smoked bales of pot in it. I don't know if it was bales, but they had smoked pot and it just reeked of pot the whole time that we were driving it. So that kind of colored my experience of thinking that it was really cool because every time we got in, it was a big whiff of weed. So my Porsche experience was a bit colored from the smell, but it was kind of funny to be tooling around in my Porsche. I'm not really a car person, you guys. I drive a VW, but I got the full LA experience. Let's move on to the haul portion, and then I'll share some of the other little discoveries and highlights. So my first stop in LA, of course, was to St. bar, and I finally got to meet Steve and Dana in person. If you are somebody who watches Steve and Dana's live Instagram as well as Catherine, I missed out on Catherine. I didn't get to meet her. I did try. I went down to the downtown LA Lucky Scent, but they were out to lunch, and so I just missed her. But I will be back to LA and I will get to meet Catherine as well. But you guys, Steve and Dana are just as amazing in person. They are so nice, so helpful. But I got to spend about an hour in the West Hollywood location, smelling all sorts of beautiful perfumes and narrowing it down. So I ended up buying 2 perfumes. I'm calling them my college drop-off perfumes. These will always remind me of dropping Zoe off at LMU. But I did want to give a little shout out to Steve and Dana because that was such a fun experience. It was so fun to meet you in person and for you guys to kind of help me narrow down to my 2 little special perfumes. So I finally picked up an egg. This is from the House of Oud, and they recently launched the Never Ending perfume. So I have been curious about that brand for a while. Now I will admit at first I thought the egg seemed a little bit cheesy, but when I was in store I actually got to see them in person and kind of fell in love with this Never Ending perfume. Now I will tell you, these eggs really are pieces of art, and the Never Ending perfume does not exactly match this kind of pastel egg. When I see this one, I thought it was going to be sort of like a sweet, maybe cotton candy kind of perfume, and I would say this is much more elegant, definitely a little bit more rich and exotic, but these eggs really are beautiful, and the perfume is housed in the egg, and again they are really gorgeous in person, and I just really fell in love with Never Ending. So I'm gonna go ahead, gonna go ahead and put a little bit of this on since I haven't done fragrance of the day. And this was an immediate love. This one is going to be kind of a rich, warm gourmand, but there is a freshness to this from pink grapefruit. So I think the contrast with that bit of freshness from that citrusy grapefruit, and then there's a layer of warm spices that include nutmeg, black pepper, and cumin. And sometimes cumin can throw me off a little bit. It can be a little bit too dominant, but not in this perfume. This is really well blended. There is florals in here that include tuberose, jasmine. It has suede chords, and it's in a woodsy amber base. So again, this kind of falls right into what I love. The notes in here include suede, black vanilla, cypriol, gaiac, amber, modern musks, and amber. So it's really got a lot of interesting notes going on here. And what I think I really enjoy about this is that there is a contrast. There is a freshness, but then it comes into this territory of being a sophisticated, warm gourmand. It definitely dries down into kind of a sexy, warm gourmand, very wearable, but because of that freshness with the grapefruit, it adds a little bit of zest, a little bit of playfulness, and it makes it very easy to wear now when it's still kind of summer leading into fall. But I would categorize this as kind of like one of my favorite kind of Abbey scents in that kind of warm gourmand territory that I tend to gravitate towards the most. And I picked this one because I knew that whenever I see this displayed on my vanity, I'm always going to think about Zoe. This is the drop-off perfume, and I just thought it seemed special. Plus, I've been intrigued by the House of Oud. I'd never pulled the trigger, but once I saw them in person, I will say there was a few other contenders there in this category. This was unique, it was beautiful, and this fragrance is right up my alley. So if you gravitate towards those kind of warm, woody, gourmand fragrances with a little bit of freshness, I think you are going to love this one. This is definitely unisex. I think all fragrance is unisex, but it does have some floral sweetness to it. It's got that black vanilla that gives it a touch of sweetness, but I would definitely put this more in gourmand territory, warm spices with that top note of grapefruit that's going to kind of give you a little lift. So this is my little special perfume that I got to remind me of Miss Zoe. Then I could not resist Steve's recommendation. He was like, have you tried any of the Rogues? And I have not, and I had just watched him talk about it on Instagram Live, and this is the Derviche 2, and this is spectacular. Both Zoe and I fell in love with this one, and I ended up picking up the smaller 30 ml bottle, and here is what this looks like. Really gorgeous. So this one is a sweet amber fragrance. It was, again, love at first sniff. So there's the original Derviche that was all about the hookah, that was going to be rich and syrupy, tobacco incense kind of amber fragrance. And for the follow-up fragrance, Manny Cross, that is who is the creator of these fragrances, actually use similar notes but in a reimagined way. So in this one we have citrus, Mediterranean herbs, incense woods, sugared fruits, amber, vanilla, and musk. And they actually have a really good write-up on Lucky Scent, so I'm just going to quickly read this because they did a great job of describing this fragrance to a T, because that's exactly what I'm smelling as well. Derviche 2 is still a beguiling sweet amber fragrance, but this one traded its syrup for a vibrant freshness, evident from the blast of tart citrus and invigorating herbaceousness of the dynamic opening. That luscious cherry tobacco sweetness lives on in the heart, but balanced with a clean, incense-driven, sparkling smokiness and a base of amped-up woody notes that feel sexy and sophisticated, rich and luxurious, yet charmingly wearable. This one's intoxicating. This was one that I had sprayed on and was smelling my wrist like, what smells so good? And it is this. It is sexy. It definitely has that sexy vibe. There's a sparkliness about this that just put a smile on my face, and definitely addictive. So I would say this one is a bit more addictive, might leave a little bit more trail than my Never Ending. That one's in that warm gourmand. This one is more of a rich, sophisticated amber scent. I think charming is actually a really good word to describe this. Sexy with a bit of charm in here makes it very wearable. Sophisticated definitely gives you all those good vibes, but it doesn't necessarily, for me, fall into that gourmand, spicy kind of category. This one's just a little bit more of your sexy cousin over here. Truly love this one and was excited because my daughter also was a fan. And then of course Dana put together a bunch of samples for me to try, as well as my daughter. Like, we got the full experience and it was so sweet. And I'm realizing that I brought home my daughter's samples as well. But I will be sending her out a care package. Yes, we even had a bit of drama before leaving LA. She lost her license. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to get on the plane. So just a little lead up drama to the big drop off. Always adds a little bit of fun. Clearly we made it. But what I thought I would do is just read off what she gave me as samples, because these were contenders and I will possibly buy them. So I have one from the Different Company. I have Aura Sublime, Dear Polly by Velhem, as well as then for my daughter, They gave her Peau de Pêche. That one is really fun. They gave her La Danza. That's another one that smells amazing. The Delina La Rosé, as well as I Am Trash. I just discovered a few others. They snuck in there for me. So, and we have a Whittian as well. So that will be fun to do a little sniff test. And then at home, waiting for me was Ormond Jane. This is Ormond Woman. This is a favorite of mine. It is a woody fragrance and I just love it. So we'll have a full review coming up of that little perfume haul. Okay, then moving on to a few clothing fashion items. First thing is we were actually buying these for my daughter, and these are fun little sneakers. They look like Converse, but these are actually the original. These are PF Flyers. They are just so adorable, and I laugh at myself because I often buy sneakers when I'm around my kids. They're so into them, and so we tried these on and they didn't quite fit her, so I tried them on, and then she's like, well, you need to get these. And so I was like, of course I'm gonna up my sneaker game, and these are really super cute on, you guys. And I think for me, I just kind of fell in love with the little stripe up the back. So when in Rome, so I picked up these kind of fun little sneakers, and I'm going to make myself wear them because I tend to wear more like loafers and sandals and boots. But since my kids pushed me to get these cool little sneakers, I'm going to wear them. And then the Airbnb that we were staying by was near Abbot Kinney Boulevard, which is sort of a young, hip, cool little street. It has my favorite restaurant. I love Butcher's Daughter, and I always go to Butcher's Daughter when I'm in town. I love the LA one. They actually have Butcher's Daughter in New York as well. I believe they have 2 locations there, but I discovered it originally in LA. But on Abbot Kinney, they have a bunch of cool shops. And one that I discovered is AYR, or All Year Round. This is a cool women-owned business. And I had been seeing them online. They have jeans called Bomb Pop jeans that come up in my Instagram feed all the time. So when I was walking along Abbot Kinney, I was like, oh my gosh, that's that store that sells the Bomb Pop jeans. And I went in and I tried on the Bomb Pop jeans, and then I also love their shirts. And this is the infamous Oprah shirt. So as the story goes, Oprah Winfrey purchased this shirt and wore it, and then it kind of blew up this business because it's got this cute little pocket detail here with the stripe going this way as well as horizontal and vertical stripes. They come in so many cute colors, and I was actually wanting to get the blush. There was the Concord Grape, or there was a sage color. The sizing is actually very oversized shirt, and the only one that they had in stock in store was this extra small in the Oprah color, which is just your classic blue and white striped shirt. So I had to get that. And then I have to say the Bomb Pop jeans, going to insert a picture here, are so comfortable. I love these jeans because not only do they keep their shape, they're super comfortable, but they also come in lots of different inseams. So for someone who is short, I was able to get a shorter inseam, and for those of you that are tall, they also have inseams that will help, that will be awesome for you lovely tall people as well. So these are fantastic jeans, highly recommend them. Pretty much wore them throughout the entire trip, and they are instant love. And I have tried lots of designer jeans, and I will say these are up at the top of the list as far as comfort, fit, and also keeping their shape. So what I would tell you is these are true to size. I bought my normal size. I was able to get the shorter inseam for my shorter legs. They do give a little bit. The denim is super soft, but they also keep their shape, so they're not gonna like stretch out so much that you're like, oh gosh, I wish I would have sized down. So true to size, amazing jeans, totally recommend them. They are the bomb pop. They also had some other really fun styles, but I started with the classic. Okay, we're having a quick little puppy break. I'm holding on to her for dear life because she is my baby, but now she's the only baby in the house. And I didn't see her for 8 days, and she definitely is being a little bit snuggly and a little bit needy, which I love. So she's going to hang out while we finish. So she's going to hang out while we finish the rest of the haul. So one day we went to Manhattan Beach in the South Bay, and I absolutely love Manhattan Beach. I have a client, Allison, who lives there, and I'm so jealous because that would be my ideal pick of places to live. It is just outstanding and gorgeous. And of course, it's got adorable kind of beach shops. And I discovered two, Rights and Beehive. They're sister stores. And I got the most adorable jacket, and I discovered a brand that I had not known about. It's called The Great. Totally right up my alley. And you guys, this jacket is so adorable. This is a nice little quilted jacket here, but the cute part is that it is completely reversible. So I'm going to try this on for you. So this is completely reversible, and this can be buttoned on or off. I'm going to try it on first this way, and it's so cute. So it's a little bit cropped, and then you can either just use the ties or zip it up. And then we'll put it on the reversible way. And we had the most amazing time in the shops. Everybody is so nice in California, and we completely bonded with the shop owner, who was so sweet to Zoe and I. She knows a bunch of kids that go to LMU, and was sharing all sorts of fun things with Zoe, giving her little tips and tricks of fun things to do in Manhattan Beach. And then here is the reversible side, and I would basically roll up the sleeves here. Again, this isn't the best shirt to be sharing this coat with you, but I loved the reversible nature of it. And again, you can wear it without the collar. I'm not going to button it off right now, but you can take the collar off, so it really is like a multi-purpose jacket. Great for layering. This is going to be perfect here for in Portland. Great in California when it gets a little cooler at night. Now, they did have a long version as well that was so adorable, but because I am short, it looked a little dumpier on me versus the cropped, which was just sort of a little bit oversized, but not too much. So the brand The Great, which is a new brand to me, has so many cute clothes. You guys, I will link below the website, but it is just adorable. And the Rights store had so many cute clothes, so many great brands. And you also can shop online at Rights, and it is RightsMB. ManhattanBeach.com. I will again leave all the information below, but that was just a store that I will be so excited to go and check out again. Beehive, they described it as more of their unicorn, fun color kind of store. There was a few brands that were new to me as well that I just fell in love with. The Beehive is adorable. Great jeans, great fun tops, kind of some basics as well. So Beehive and Rights are definitely worth checking out. And this is a Zoe made me get it purchase. I wasn't going to, but she was like, no, Mom, you totally need to get this jacket. I know you'll wear it, and it will always remind me, and it will always remind you of Manhattan Beach. So of course I was like, we're on vacation. So absolutely love this reversible jacket. So glad that I picked it up. So comfy, soft, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of wear out. So of course we had to pick up a little bit of merch, and so this is the sweatshirt that I got. It's sort of a weathered, soft sweatshirt here, and it says Loyola Marymount University. Really love this one. So we got the same one, so we're twinning. And then I love it because my husband always gets the merch and represents the school around the neighborhood. So we're out with the new school hoodie and we're in with the LMU hoodie now. So we'll be tooling around with our merch on, knowing that our daughter is in a good place. So it's always fun to get a little bit of merch because it's kind of an accomplishment for the parents too, since we have been working and saving so hard since they've been born. So it's kind of fun to be able to kind of send them off and be proud of their accomplishments as well as our own. That's the end of my merch, but other highlights include discovering Phil's Coffee. This is a thing in California. I've already written to them asking them to come to Portland, which I'm sure is hard to break into since we are a coffee town. It was founded by Phil, who had his first store in the Mission District in San Francisco. Phil's always had one goal in mind: to better the days of everyone who walked in. So this is basically a pour over coffee experience. So they've got a wide assortment of coffee drinks. It would take me months to go through the entire menu, but there was one called the Philharmonic that actually puts in fresh mint in the coffee, and literally it is amazing. So my husband and I popped into one of them, fell in love, and then basically went back every single day, sometimes twice a day, to try different drinks because we were trying to get through the menu and see what was our favorite. One of the baristas had told me about the secret menu and to get the oatmeal cookie coffee, which was a blend of 2 different coffees, and that they put a little bit of cinnamon in the pour over basket, get it with oat milk and honey, and that it would taste sort of like an oatmeal cookie. So it was just a really fun experience. So I highly recommend, if you are going to LA, checking that out. I also fell in love with this place on Abbot Kinney called Poodoo Poodoo, and it is a really cool concept. It is a pudding shot. They kind of healthify it just a bit, adding some different healthy boosts to the pudding, but they were almost too pretty to eat, and I had to hit that spot a couple different times as well because it was just such a fun concept. Again, when in LA, you got to check out all of the trendy stuff, and I would definitely recommend going to Poodoo Poodoo on Abbot Kinney. I think the butterfly was my favorite one out of all. It was just so pretty. They're almost too pretty to eat, but if you do like pudding and like a little healthy twist on that, definitely worth checking out. And then of course I had to hit up some grocery stores because I'm one of those weirdos who loves grocery stores, and I always go to different ones whenever I travel. So we used to love Bristol Farms and Gelson's when we lived there previously, but now they have Erewhon, and I'm so jealous because Erewhon is everything I could ever want in a grocery store. It is like basically detox friendly in a box. For any of my blissfully fed detoxers, totally could just like give you a few things to buy there and you'd be set, ready to go. So I've already written to Erewhon as well to see if they would bring one to Portland. That's doubtful. Portland's kind of independent and they don't necessarily get chains and such. But if you live in the area and you get to shop at Erewhon, let me know if it's as amazing as it looked, because we just discovered it the last few days of the trip, and I wish I would have gone sooner because it really is just because it was just right up my alley. Loved Erewhon. We finally made it to the Melrose Trading Post. That was super fun. My daughter loved that. I love the Getty. We used to go there all the time when we lived there. That's sort of my happy place. Just a great place to enjoy, of course, the exhibits, but also just the grounds itself are amazing. You can see the entire city. It's also one of those places that's a great place to sort of have a little picnic, just enjoy the surroundings. So always love the Getty. Definitely recommend that. We did go to Nobu and had an amazing experience. That was my daughter's pick for her kind of goodbye meal. And Nobu is amazing. The service was fantastic. Everything we ate was top notch. And if you're wanting to go for a little splurge meal, Nobu is definitely worth it. So now we are home. I'm going to dive back into work. I've got so many videos coming up, you guys, so stay tuned for that. I'm just going to put my heart and soul into my work as we transition to this next chapter. Feeling a little bit uncertain about things, but I am sure it will all work out and be positive. I'm sending everyone a little bit of fun California vibes. Totally want to move back. I think the third time's the charm, don't you? So I'm going to kind of dream and scheme and live the California lifestyle here in Portland, Oregon until we figure out our next step. So I hope you enjoyed this video, you guys. And again, I will be back with another video soon. Thank you so much. I missed you guys, and I hope you have a great week.